Hi friends, today I want to introduce you to the HeatsBox Go, which is an amazing battery-powered heated lunchbox that I really do think could change your life. One goal I have as a mom is to help create amazing memories with my family. But for anybody who has food allergies like mine knows, it can be really challenging to navigate not only social situations, but traveling with food allergies. Sometimes there aren't safe options to be found for our family members, and other times finding those options can be so very stressful, and there are so many logistics we have to go through to find safe choices. That's where HeatsBox Go comes in. It allows us to bring along with us all of our safe foods and heat them to our desired temperature when we want it in between 15 and 25 minutes. That is a game changer. HeatsBox Go allows us to heat our safe foods almost anywhere we want to go. And in this video, I'm going to show you my detailed description of not only its benefits, all of its amazing features, and a few things that you do need to know that may be seen as drawbacks depending on your life situation. So stick with me while I give you my detailed review of the HeatsBox Go. Now let me give you a little bit backstory to the last year or so. I started my YouTube channel with the desire to give families like mine inspiration, encouragement, and mainly that's through recipes that we love and also products that I find in the stores that might be safe for your particular allergies. But sometimes a product comes along that is just too good not to share, and that's HeatsBox Go. So I originally had been researching back at the beginning of the summer of 2023 for our family's first long distance road trip with lots of food allergies. And that brought me to Facebook groups. These allergy Facebook groups, if you're not in one, I highly recommend you join one, first of all, because these allergy family members have been through so much and have so much wisdom. But also, through all of that, I got lots of great inspiration from families about how they've traveled both within the United States, but also internationally with their food allergies. It came up that people have used items such as this for heating their food while they're traveling internationally. And I thought that was amazing. So I kept on researching and I thought there's gotta be a better way to do this. I found videos on self-heating ramen bowls used in China, which are just amazing, by the way. And I came upon this company called HeatsBox. And HeatsBox makes a variety of different products, but this is their newest one that is battery powered. I reached out to Fatron and I mentioned to them how much the allergy community would really benefit from this product. And they did send me this one for free for me to review for you. But I will say that all the opinions, in this video are my own, and I'm doing my very best to give you a full picture view of everything that HeatsBox Go has to offer. Stick with me as I give you all of my opinions of the HeatsBox Go, what it does well, and a few other things that you should know just in case. Let's talk about the features of HeatsBox Go and all the ways it can help you in your day-to-day life and in your travels. So first of all, isn't it adorable? It's super cute. So HeatsBox Go as is, comes with this heating device as well as an inner dish. And the inner dish is stainless steel, removable, and comes with an additional meal prep lid. So you can store your food in your refrigerator and pop it in your HeatsBox when you're ready to go. So this dish comes out and you can pop it in your dishwasher to clean it. Let's talk again about the battery life of HeatsBox Go. So it is designed with a 60-minute battery life. With that 60-minute battery life, it is advertised as heating up to 2 meals warmed before you need to recharge it. But let's talk about what that actually means in your day-to-day life application. So depending on the type of food you choose to warm up, that will vary widely on how much of the battery usage that meal will take up. So an example for you is that we did take the HeatsBox Go on our little trip to the park to reheat hot dogs. I picked up hot dogs for all of my kiddos and myself and brought them along with us. And it was, I think, about 15 to 20 minutes total to reheat all of those hot dogs at the park. The temperature outside was a chilly 55 degrees. And so that probably played into a part of the longer cooking time. But we still had plenty of battery life left to experiment with reheating a little shelf-stable apple pie. So that would be an example where more than one thing could be heated at a time. I did take this claim to heart and experiment quite a bit with it to see how much you really could heat with HeatsBox Go in one charge. And so I experimented with hot dogs yet again. Can you tell we eat a lot of hot dogs at our house? It's my kiddo's favorite food. And so I heated up hot dogs like I would for him, and that only used about 15% of the battery life. And so then I went ahead to see if I could heat up ramen with room temperature water at the same time. So I used the settings, the default temperature settings, to heat up water to its warmest temperature. Well, the default was 175. And then I attempted to reinitiate the heat settings to cook the noodles, and it did not have enough battery power to turn on and reinitiate heat settings. And so what that meant is I tried to go ahead and see what would happen. So I added in my block of noodles, and they actually did cook with the residual heat from the HeatsBox and the water. And so it was able to warm up those noodles effectively and make them cooked. All of this is to say that while you could do ramen and something else, you are at risk of not having enough battery life to turn the HeatsBox back on. So for day-to-day use, I would recommend, and it is recommended by HeatsBox, that you reheat your one meal and then recharge completely so that you know you have enough battery power left to reheat your next meal. HeatsBox has their own digital app that you should download if you get a HeatsBox Go. And on that app, you can choose lots of different features. You can choose the temperature that you want your food to heat up to. You can choose the style of heating you want to do, so like low and slow, or heated immediately, or toast. And then you can also choose to pre-program when you want your food to be ready, which is really cool. Now, in order to use the pre-program setting to have it warm up your food for you later, you do need to know that in order to do that, HeatsBox Go is supposed to be on a flat surface and ventilated while cooking. So on the dish, or on the lid, it has this little venting valve. Right here, you can see it. And so on the inside, you can just press this little knob, and that will allow it to vent any extra steam while it's heating. What that does mean for you is that you can't pre-program HeatsBox Go, put it into the bottom of a backpack, and leave it to warm up your food all day. That's not a safe choice. It's important to always follow the manufacturer's directions whenever using any new product or device, and that goes for the HeatsBox Go as well. Also, one of the game changers for HeatsBox Go, in my opinion, is the fact that it is powered by a USB-C cable. So it comes with an included USB-C cable, and it will charge in general between 2 to 4 hours to reach its fully charged state. What that means for you is that you can take this on your international flights and you can recharge it using a portable power bank. You can use this to heat up your meals on your flight and then recharge it so it's ready for your next meal throughout your journey. That means if you have one of those really long flights where it's taking 24 or more hours to get to a different part of the world, you can know that you will have warm food and that's safe for you throughout your entire journey. Again, it's a game changer, guys. A note for you, if you are flying with HeatsBox Go, is that you should treat this as any other technological device that you're bringing with you. And so it should be disclosed as security right along with your laptop and your cell phone, but it should have no problem going through airport security at all. You should also know that this is a smart device. So if you have settings on the HeatsBox Go from your app, it's going to heat to that temperature. So for example, I had set the temperature lower than my kids actually liked their hot dogs to be warm to. And so I had tried to go ahead and just press the start button to override the HeatsBox Go and make it keep heating. And then my app kept notifying me that it was at the temperature I had set and that I needed to reset the temperature for it to continue heating. So that's one of those things that just use your user manual to make sure you fully understand how it works. And if you're going to be using your app, make sure you have it set to the precise settings that you desire, because that's the easiest. Now, if you aren't using the app, you can just go ahead and not use an app at all. And when you go ahead and unplug your HeatsBox Go, you can turn it on and you can just have it go by pressing the power button, and it will just heat to preheated settings that it has in it, but it will heat without the app. You just get a whole lot more flexibility and the ability to choose your heat settings using the app. You may be wondering, well, what happens if I can't use my phone later on? You are able to pre-program all the settings you want. When you turn on your HeatsBox Go, what will happen is it will turn blue. The indicator light will turn blue when it's connected to the Bluetooth on your phone. Then once you've fully set all of the settings you want and you've initiated start, then the indicator light will turn yellow to let you know that it has all of the data stored in it. And at that point, you can disconnect Bluetooth from your phone and it will preheat and do all the settings that you had preset. I also, in this clip, show you that I took a bowl of our favorite stuffed pepper soup and I filled my HeatsBox Go dinner dish all the way to the max fill line to see how long it would take to heat up soup from a really cold temperature. So it wasn't frozen, but my refrigerator temperature is set on 34 degrees, just above freezing. And so I put it directly from my refrigerator straight into the HeatsBox Go and initiated its pre-programmed settings for offline use. And I timed how long it would take to get it completely warm. Now, again, those are kind of extenuating circumstances because how often are you going to transport food directly from the fridge and heat it immediately? In general, I would tend to transport it to work or have it sit out for a little while, and that time sitting out on the counter or within your HeatsBox Go would also start warming up your food. But it did take, here you can see my clips, it took 37 minutes to heat my soup from the chilled state all the way up until its default temperature of 175 degrees. And so in that case, I did not have much battery life left on the HeatsBox Go in order to do much else. I didn't experiment that day to see if it could heat anything else at that time. Again, all of this is to say, just eat your food and recharge your HeatsBox Go and you will be good to go. So there are a lot of factors that are going to take into account how long it does take to heat up your food. Let's see, I'm curious to see how warm it's registering inside. Yep, look at that. It was right at 176 degrees. That is super cool. Obviously, it's that temperature at the bottom where it can get the readings. Did you see it? It was down there. So obviously the soup way at the top in the middle is less hot because you have to stir it around. But guys, I am super, super, super impressed that the temperature readings are that accurate, that it will get right up to the temperature that you set and it will stay there. Now, obviously, it will start to cool off as you eat and whatnot, but you can also know that then you aren't going to have a burn risk. I don't know if you saw, I put my hands on the outside housing of this the entire time I was cooking. Right here, it's warm. I would say approaching hot, but the outside housing is not hot at all. It is totally safe to be holding and touching for an extended period of time. And that is also super important as well. So this is a bowl of one of our family favorites that is stuffed pepper soup. And I will try to get to filming a video of this soon, but I like to serve it with some sambal or chili garlic sauce. If you haven't seen my video on some of our favorite condiments in our home, please go ahead and check it out. I will have it linked at the end of this video. It really is tasty, and if you love spicy food, you really can't go wrong with it. I will say the default temperature is absolutely perfect for me. It is plenty warm without you feeling like you need to cool it off to eat. I would say I would say this is on the warm side for my kids because I find it as an adult perfect. So I think it warrants some experimentation with your preferences. I tend to not like food as warm as some of my family members. Some of them think I have more of a childlike palate when it comes to temperatures. So they might like the temperature to be set more at the max temperature of 187 degrees. But I find it absolutely perfect. Now for any product I recommend to you, I'm always going to tell you the full picture of that item. So HeatsBox Go is really awesome, but there are a few things that you should know about it before you buy it. One is there are temperature guidelines in which you're supposed to use it. So what that means is it has a recommended heating temperature in terms of climate that you are in of 50 to 113 degrees Fahrenheit. So that means that if you are an avid ice fisherman, this is not the product for you. It should not be used in sub-zero temperatures, sub-zero Fahrenheit temperatures. And so there is that temperature range that you need to keep in mind. So for some of you, this may not be the product for you. If you are an Arctic adventurer, you're going to have to stick with your camp stove. Let's talk about charging. I did mention that HeatsBox Go is charged with a USB-C cable. This is awesome for flexibility. You can use it not only charging it in your car with an appropriate adapter to your outlet in your car, but you can also charge it from your laptop as well as from a portable power bank. One thing you do need to know is that HeatsBox Go cannot be used while it's charging. So that just means that you need to pre-plan your meals and your charging around when you're going to have it fully charged. For many of us, that would mean that we cook a meal for our family member, heat it up, they eat their meal, and then we charge it right away so that it's ready for the next meal. Let's talk about lunch boxes. As I mentioned before, HeatsBox Go is supposed to be in a ventilated space with that vent top also vented at the same time when in use, and it should be on a flat surface. That's all for safety guidelines, guys, and so it currently does not have a lunchbox offered with it because of those things. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't bring it in a backpack or a lunchbox. However, for your heating purposes, it should be in an opened lunchbox with the top vented as well. Additionally, HeatsBox Go is not designed to be placed inside of your cooler. So what that means for me, when I go and use it next week, when we go to our next allergist appointment out of town, I'm going to begin by having our first meal. My kiddo's gonna eat breakfast on the drive because we have to get up really early. So I'm gonna meal prep his HeatsBox Go with his breakfast and not refrigerate it. I'm just gonna leave it in the HeatsBox Go because he'll eat it within an hour of us leaving the house. So I will have him eat that, and then the other meals he'll have for the day, I'm gonna put inside the cooler with ice packs, and then the HeatsBox Go will be kept separate. That is just to make sure, I imagine, that the electronics last longer and to make sure your food is kept within food safety guidelines. Let's talk about the size. When you look at this inner dish, it is a really great size for most people. Now, when I look at this and I keep my middle schoolers in mind and I think about how much food they're able to eat, it may not look like enough space for you. When I filled this up to the max fill line inside with water, it held just under 3 cups of food. So if you have a ravenously hungry middle schooler or high schooler, I recommend seeing HeatsBox Go as their protein heater. So for example, things like burgers, taco meat, burrito filling, all things like that that can be heated and then put with other sides and condiments will allow you to maximize your usage of the HeatsBox Go and make sure that your kiddos aren't still hungry. Let's talk for a minute about the inner dish set. I love that you have the option of purchasing these dishes to make meal prepping so much easier for you. It is awesome, especially I can think of how it would be super helpful for our allergist appointments that are out of town, just to have all the meals prepped for a day. Amazing. Again, a game changer. But I did want to address one thing I noticed about them. I wanted to take the claim of 100% leak proof and test it out for everybody. So I took the inner dish set, I filled it up to the max fill line with water. Again, water is not thick at all. And I shook it all around. When I shook it horizontally, it had no problems whatsoever and was leak proof. In this particular case, the dishes that I received as a sample in the meal, though, when I took that same filled dish and I turned it vertically and squeezed on it, again, these are extenuating circumstances, not normal use, some water did leak out from around the hinge. So that would just tell me that if you are an avid broth soup drinker, that you should treat it with care if it's going to be something you're going to purchase immediately and use in your bag. Again, normally I put things like this in my cooler horizontally, in which case it's not going to have any problem whatsoever, and I'll use it without fear or concern as is. That is the leaking is something that I addressed with Patreon, so hopefully they're looking into it and can address the manufacturing whatever went on. I will say that problem of leaking does not apply to the inner dish set lid that came in the box with my HeatsBox Go. It is 100% leak proof. When I put this on the same dish and turned it vertically and squeezed, absolutely no water came out. So it is just with pertaining to the inner dish set. I think there's something going on with the seal that's slightly different. So I just wanted you to be aware of that in the immediate. If you absolutely love your broth soups, just treat your inner dish set with a little bit of care. Let's discuss durability. Now, this product is not marketed as a durable, rough and tumble product. I don't see anywhere on it. It comments all about its amazing features, but it does not say that it's battle proof. It would be really, really cool to say that I had my kids took it out to a football field and they spiked it on the ground like a football, but I like it too much to do that to it and I don't want to destroy one. So that being said, I would treat HeatsBox Go as you would any technology device that you own that you want to last a long time. I see it absolutely perfect for the daily commuter, for the busy family that needs safe food on the go, for active teams that need to be able to bring their food with them to their sporting events, to their tournament weekends and things like that, and for individuals that know how to treat their devices nicely. In the same line of discussion of durability, I did have one thing I wanted to disclose to you. My inner dish set lid that came with my HeatsBox Go, as I mentioned, does seal leak-proof on the dish provided. The only thing that I noticed was that I was comparing the two lids and how they seal slightly differently, and that would be what is making this one leak-proof and this one leak a tiny bit. And when I was comparing them, I wasn't paying close attention. And I had one time when I put it on the stainless steel inner dish set, and it must not have lined up perfectly with the inner side of the stainless steel dish. And I did crack one of the little wingtips. So if you can see right there, this little guy cracked off. That being said, it is still leak-proof. It still works. It goes on perfectly. I would just be mindful when you're putting your lid on to make sure that it's lined up before you push the clasp down. And if you feel there's a lot of resistance, either pinch the edge of the dish to the lid to make sure it's on correctly, and that will help give you a little bit of resistance to clip the lid down. This product is, I would say, designed with a lot of finesse. It is amazing. It's well designed. The features are fantastic. I was even looking at my app while I'm trying out this ramen with room temperature water over here, and it has a countdown on the app to tell you when your food will be at its desired temperature. It really does have a lot of features that are really amazing and so useful. Just treat your items with care, just like you would your iPad or your phone. All right, friends, I would be totally remiss if I did not identify the fact that there are other products that are in this same space. So recently I have seen multiple products that are in the same category of battery powdered heated lunchbox items. So I wanted to talk about just a few of them so you can make an informed decision. The first one that I bought was Hot Bento. You can find it on Amazon, which is awesome. That's convenient. It has some amazing features. It is also waterproof and leak-proof. It has non-stick coating on the inside of the dish, and it claims, it claims that it's rugged and shock resistant. Alrighty. It's rechargeable as well, and it claims that you can press the power button one time and your meal will be ready in 10 to 15 minutes. I've used this product as well, and it is really neat. But my first comment on it would be it is very hard because of the way the lid is designed to get it sealed well. Even as an adult, it was a challenge. The clips, I understand why they made it the way they did, but it is rather challenging to get the lid attached the first few times. I've been noticing the more I use it, it is limbering up and it's becoming easier to clasp. That is something to keep in mind. Also, the other thing to keep in mind is this has a battery life of 15 minutes. And so after that point, it shuts off and you have to recharge the entire thing. It is at a different price point than the HeatsBox Go. This is $100 on Amazon. HeatsBox Go is retailing about $180 or $200, I believe, depending on what's going on, if there's some sales. So they are at different price points, and that is valid to note for sure. The other items that you have seen probably in this same space is there is an item called Lunch Ease and also a new crockpot item called Crockpot Go. Both are also battery powered as well, which is awesome. I'm so glad people are identifying the need for the ability to take food and heat it elsewhere. Let's talk about Lunch Ease first. Lunch Ease is comparable to HeatsBox in many ways, but I think there are some ways that HeatsBox sets itself apart. One would be the ease of use of its app, which is amazing. I haven't actually seen a demo of the Lunch Ease app to actually know how it works. So there is that. But the ways that I think that HeatsBox is really set apart is your ability to set a wide range of temperatures. Again, you can correct me if I'm wrong with Lunch Ease. But the other big factor for if you're traveling is the ease of charging this with a USB-C cable. That is a really big difference if you're traveling internationally. In addition, the ability to charge it with a power bank because of that. Also, if you read information on how the heating style is done on the Lunch Ease, I looked really carefully at them, to be honest. If I am wrong on any of this, feel free to comment down below and correct me. But Lunch Ease states that it will begin heating 2 hours prior to your desired eating time, which is wonderful that you can preset the finished eating time. But if you are sitting at a restaurant, say you're at a nice restaurant, and you normally would spend 10 minutes chatting, order your food, and then have the food arrive 10 or 20 minutes later, your lunch ease would have had to be programmed way ahead of time, brought refrigerated, and then been heating your food that entire time. HeatsBox Go has the shorter cooking time. I know when I cooked my soup that it was on the longer end. It did take 37 minutes for me to cook my soup from a refrigerated temperature of about 34 degrees all the way into the default heat setting of 176. But that is significantly faster than the 2 hours that it could possibly take to use a lunch ease. So that is one thing to identify. There is a different price point item that I was just made aware of today by a friend, and it is the Crock-Pot Go. And Crock-Pot Go is very similar to Lunch Ease in that it does also have that 2-hour cooking window, and I did not see any way to control the temperature settings and things such as that. It also is using a standard power plug, so that means for traveling internationally, you are also much more limited on how and where you can charge it. Additionally, HeatsBox Go is the only item in this category capable of not only warming frozen food, but also cooking. Here you can see I cooked both eggs and raw chicken in the HeatsBox Go in under 30 minutes, which is just so very cool and important for traveling. So in my mind, HeatsBox Go stands above the rest in this category. Does it mean that it fits all of your personal requirements for a self-heating item? Maybe not, and that's okay. You are allowed to have your own personal opinions about what works for you and your family. I just wanted to give you all the options out there so that you can know. I know that the focus of this video has been on HeatsBox Go, and traveling mainly is where I see it really being its shining moment for those of us looking to travel on airplanes and whatnot, or long distances in the car and needing a good option for heating food. But I don't want to discount the usefulness of the other HeatsBox products for adults in the workforce. HeatsBox has many plug-in products that I think would be perfect for you at work. You can purchase one of them and leave it at your desk, and then only transport your meal prepped in your inner dish set back and forth to work each day. Then about 30 to 60 minutes before you want to eat, just pop your inner dish set into your HeatsBox, program it how you want it to cook and when you want it to be done, and you'll know that you have a safe meal ready for you at work. You then also won't have to worry about waiting in line for that microwave and questioning all the other things that have been heated in that microwave prior to you. Now, if you've been watching this already and you aren't really sure how the HeatsBox would help you in your life, I want you to think about all those, all those different social gatherings and traveling functions when it would have been helpful just to know that your safe food was heating up somewhere else. I think about high school students who are wanting to socialize with their friends, but may not be able to eat a full meal at the restaurant their friends are going to. They could pack their HeatsBox Go in their favorite bag, bring it along with, and set it on the table while their friends are hanging out and chatting. They can then order their safe drink or appetizer or side dish that works for them and still socialize, eat, enjoy their time with their friends, and have safe food ready for them when the rest of their friends are served as well. I really do see HeatsBox Go and HeatsBox products as a game changer for many of us who have family members with food allergies. Even this coming week, my kiddo was invited to a birthday party at one of those awesome indoor trampoline park kind of places. And yet again, they're serving pizza and cake that he can't safely eat. But I reminded him that we can bring his safe hot dogs along in his HeatsBox Go, and he will have warm food whenever he wants it at the birthday party. He was so excited. It is awesome to see that a product such as this, HeatsBox Go, is allowing my kiddo to have confidence going into social circumstances that he'll have safe food wherever he goes. And that is really priceless. I hope you have found my review of the HeatsBox Go to be helpful to you in knowing if whether or not this is a good fit for you and your family. If you found that to be true, please use the affiliate link that you'll find down below in the description box. And you can use my code ERIN10, that's capital ERIN 10, for 10% off your purchase. This is an awesome way for you to also not only get a discount on your HeatsBox products, but also support my channel as well, so I can keep on the lookout for other allergy-friendly products for other families too.